crafters, welcome back to another segment of Keep It Simple Sylvia. This is the third week in December, and all month long we've been making simple little holiday decorations. And this is one that I used to make as a kid, and I'm going to show you how I used to make it as a kid, but we have much better tools available today that make it even more fantastic. So what we need for this is a toilet tissue roll and some cardboard. This is just some cardboard. When I get cardboard boxes of deliveries in the mail, I just cut them up. We need to make a circle, so we're going to use our toilet tissue roll as a circle, as you know, a thing to measure with. I'm just going to draw a circle, and then I'm going to cut that out. You know, toilet tissue rolls are so versatile. And when you were a kid, oh my gosh, all the things they used to make with toilet tissue rolls was amazing. And on YouTube, you can go to YouTube and you can just find a ton of great toilet tissue items to make. So you cut that circle out, and then you need to glue this in place on top. But before you glue it in place on top, you need to poke a couple holes in it so you've got a means to poke in our wonderful pipe cleaners that we use all the time. So I'm just going to punch a couple of holes as soon as I find my pokey tool. Okay, a couple of holes in here because I want to be able to thread my pipe cleaner in there. And what that's going to be is it's going to be my flame. So I'm just going to get a gold pipe cleaner out here. I'm going to cut it, and I'm just going to feed the ends through here and just kind of twist it down below so that they're secure. And then we'll worry about forming the flame later, okay? And so I'm just going to hot glue this together. Just going to glue it on top like that, and then we'll shape the flame. So I'll be right back after I get it glued. Okay, I've got it all glued in place now. And then we just have to form the flame. Well, the flame, you know, needs to come to a little point, and then just kind of spread it out a little bit. And you have a cute little candle that we used to make as a kid. And we'd make a couple of them. They'd be different sizes and kind of glue them together in an arrangement here. And then, you had a cute little centerpiece to put on the table. I just loved doing these. These were always so much fun to do. We used to paint them red or green or whatever color Mom wanted for the centerpiece, and or white or silver, gold, whatever, and just paint these all up. And then she would just arrange these around the table, and we'd have a cute little centerpiece in the center of the table. Isn't that cute? But today we have these magic little things that actually light up. And so these would be amazing to put in our candle holders. But what we need to do is we need to make a base for them, because the bottom of this is smaller than the diameter of our toilet tissue rolls. Several different ways we can do it. We can do it exactly like this, and then without putting the holes in it for our flame. And instead, we could just have these little things sit on top of that. Seems like we didn't have that. And they could sit on top of that in our display. But the problem with that is if they sit on top, they could easily fall off. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that because obviously they're not burning. But what I thought would be better to do is somehow get them to go down inside our tube. So what we can do the exact same thing again, is make ourselves a circle using our toilet tissue as our guide. Make another circle, cut that out, and I'm gonna try to cut it like on the inside of my lines, because when you use something as a guide, to mark with, you're always drawing on the outside of it. So it's always going to be a tad bit bigger than what the item actually is. So I'm just thought, well, I'll cut it down a little smaller, which I have to make this a little bit smaller yet, and glue this on the inside. Yeah, that's going to go inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some hot glue around the edge here, and then drop that down inside the tube. And it just might go sideways on me, so I have to make sure that I put my finger in it and catch it and stop it as I'm putting it down inside here, or a pencil or anything to help guide it down there. And I want to make sure that I get it down far enough that this little thing will fit down in there nicely. So I'll just push it down to where it fits nice. And you can always drop more glue down there to help hold it in place. And try and make it even. And then you have a nice little holder to put that in. And then you can paint it. You can put some pipe cleaner around the top. But then I thought, well, gosh, this seems like a lot of trouble. Even though it's pretty sturdy and it's a great idea. Why not just stuff a tube with paper? Any paper. Just curl up some paper and stuff it in the tube. I mean, it can be, old newspaper, and it can just be whatever kind of paper you want to stuff in there. And put it down inside the tube where you want it. You could fill the whole tube if you want. And to me, that's a lot easier than worrying about cutting a piece of cardboard. And then you can always flatten it out the way you want it to get those things to fit right. And that was so much easier to do. Okay, now to decorate these and make them look more like candles, what we need is our handy dandy hot gun, our hot glue. Because we're just going to put an edge around here, and we're just going to put things that look like drips of candles. How cool is that? Then go all the way down, up at the top, and it actually looks like you've got a candle dripping. Oh God, I love that. And you just do this all the way around, plus it gives a nice cute little edge to the top there. And you can make your drips any size that you want. I was going to put a nice big old drippy lip on this. And this will go through a lot of your sticks for your hot glue. But it's so cute. Okay, so we got them. And then what I thought would be even better is making sure that you've got candles of all different sizes. So that's why I want to use the paper towel roll. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the length of my toilet tissue, and I want this one to be taller than that. So I'm thinking I could probably just cut this one in half. And don't worry about if you scrunch it together or not. We can always straighten that out. That's no big deal. So I'm just going to cut this in half. And now I'm going to have some staggered candles then. I'm going to do the exact same thing to that. I'm going to stuff some paper in it. And you can see that we're going to have some staggered candles here. And I'm going to cut down the toilet tissue. That I don't want everything the same height. I prefer things to be staggered. Now you might want matching candles to be the exact same height, and that's fine. That's perfect. But for this little arrangement, I'm going to make sure that I've got some of different sizes. So let me see how different these are. Okay, so I'm going to cut this one down just a little bit more. Just, but not as short as what the actual toilet tissue is. Okay, so I'm starting to get some staggered, and I need just one more. And I'm going to make this one a little bit taller than the one that was cut in half. So that was half. So I'm going to make this one considerably taller. Actually, a good guide is actually where they get glued. Because this one here in the center is what I used when I cut the other one. And I'm not going to be too concerned about all this paper on here because it's actually going to add some dimension to my candles. That'll be kind of cute. Okay, so I've got them all the sizes that I want. I'm going to stuff paper in them, and then I'm going to keep dropping hot glue. See how cute that looks? Can you see that? Where it looks like the candle drippings on it. And then there's my paper stuffed on the inside to the height that I want it. And then when I get these all done, I'm actually going to glue them into an arrangement. And then I'll paint everything up. I'm probably going to paint everything up white. And I'll be right back when that's all done. Okay, I've got everything all glued up and painted, and I decided to go with an off-white. So all I'm using is Liquitex Basic Unbleached Titanium, or an ecru color. I just thought that that would look a little softer. So I've got everything all painted up. And what I'm going to do is I need something to mount these on. So I'm just going to draw a circle onto this cardboard that we were using earlier. And you know my handy little trick for drawing a circle is you just get a string and then you put a pencil or pen in it. Put your finger down and just let it draw a circle for you. It's so easy to do. Or you can use a pie plate. You know, not a pie plate, but a paper plate. You could use a pie plate. Anything you might have that could make a circle for you. And so I'm just going to cut this out. And then when I get it cut out, I'm going to start adhering my tubes the way I want them. But before I put my tubes in, I want to make sure that I stuff them so I get them the right distance from, the top and bottom. And I want to show you what I did up at the top is I just put a whole bunch of glue around the top. So when this little thing goes in, it kind of finishes it off a little nicer, makes it look a little nicer, and it doesn't look like it's got so much space between it. And then I'll mount it so it's down like that. I thought it just gave a better look as opposed to just a straight unfinished edge. It looks more like drippy wax to me. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm cut this up. And when I get that done and my tube stuffed, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back and I've got all of the tubes painted up, mounted onto the board, and I've got my paper stuff down inside. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate. And I'm going to use some poinsettias and some toil. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this, I don't know, 8 inches or something, and then just tie it in half. And by doing that, that gives me a knot that I can use for gluing with hot glue to stick in between the tubes like this and to give it some frilly stuff. So I'm just going to tie up a whole bunch of lengths like that. I just bought a spool of this. Just measure off some, and they don't all have to be the same length. And then just tie them. Tie them all up. You want to make sure that when you cut your tool that the edges are not even. And then with the poinsettias, actually it was a piece of garland that I got. It came with these cute little berries and I thought, okay, cool. I'll pull them off and I can use them also. And what I did too is I put some sticklers on to highlight the drips. Just use some gold to just highlight it. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay a bead of glue inside here in between these tubes and just stick these in and glue them down. So I'm just hot gluing the rest of the tool in between all of the tubes there. That I've got that done. And I might have to do some more random fill-ins back in here. Okay, so now once I got that done, now I'm gonna actually just stick these in. Put a big old gob of glue on the poinsettia there. I'm just gonna just stuff it in there and hold it in place till it sets up. Okay, I've speeded this up so you don't have to watch it in real time. And when I'm putting the poinsettias in, I'm making sure that I spread that tool apart so I've got it on each side of the poinsettia. Look how pretty that looks. Isn't that pretty? Okay, crafters, I've got it done. And I actually put a real candle here, the one that's shining the brightest. This is a little tea light. I put inside the one that I'd put the platform down inside of. So that's another thing that you can do, but you know, you definitely have to make sure you watch it because you're working with flame and paper. So let me blow that out so it's not quite so bright. And you can see how cute this looks with these little these little lights that you can buy now in there. What a pretty little centerpiece that'll make. And it's decorated all the way around. Now, obviously, I have this set up so it's mostly viewed from the front. But if you wanted to, you could obviously put the bigger candles in the center and build your smaller ones around it so it can be viewed from all over. But it is nicely decorated on all sides. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh, what a beautiful little centerpiece that makes. How pretty is that? And I love the white poinsettias around it. So there you go, recycling toilet tissue and kitchen towel paper holders. And don't forget this other little one that I showed you in the beginning. This is just another cute little project that you could have the kiddos help you make. And you don't even have to use the hot glue to drip on it. Just have the kids make these up and do a cute little arrangement out of the things that they've made. Isn't that cute? I used to love to make these things. Well, there you go. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, and I'll see you again back here next Friday. Yeah, I'm going to do one. I'll have one for after the holidays. Maybe you might need a break. So, Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and I'll see you again next Friday. Bye for now.